hands down Felix Zemdegs
Met him
in this
before, right?
world. Yeah, I met him once and literally I was in tears.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cubophile, and welcome to the finale episode of Cuberview Season 1. And in this episode, we have a very special guest, the Indian national record holder for 3x3 single with a time of 4.91 seconds, Aryan Chabra. So, hi, Aryan.
Hey guys, it's Aryan here and I'm very excited to be on this channel. So yeah.
Okay, so Aryan, before we start, I would just ask you to do a 3x3 solve for our audience who have never
Yeah,
watched the
sure.
solve before.
One sec. I'll just get a better cube. I'm using a random cube right now. Yeah, okay, here it is.
Sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. That was 8.63. Not my best solve, but
Did you get it closer
yeah.
to the camera?
Yeah, one sec. I'll just lower down the brightness. I think that'll be better. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it. 8.64, 634.
Yeah. That's not my best solve. But yeah, it's fine.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start with the first round.
Alright.
So, starting with the first question, this is probably the one you've answered like millions of times until now. How did you get into cubing?
So it so happened that I was in my class that was in 8th standard back in 2015, January of 2015, and I saw my classmates solving one side of the Rubik's Cube. So I was like, damn, this is really, really impressive. And I wanted to solve the whole cube. So I went back home and asked my dad to get me a Rubik's Cube. He got me a cube the same day. And then I tried to solve it and obviously failed like almost every other person out there. Then I stumbled upon some tutorials on YouTube. I actually couldn't figure it out like in the first video, so I had to like search for more videos that I actually got. Finally, I stumbled upon the video I learned from, and it took me like 3 days to solve it completely. From there, it just became my addiction, and here am I.
Which video did you watch? I mean, which is the
Sorry?
video from which you learned finally?
I'm not sure. I could send you the link, but I'm not sure which channel it was.
I was basically just asking you the YouTubers' name since there are so many. So I thought YouTubers would identify.
Yeah, I don't remember the name, but I do remember the exact video. Like I could find it right away.
Okay, sure. No, sure. So other than cubing, what other hobbies do you have?
I have a couple of hobbies. I play soccer. I play guitar. I also like to write, and I also lift weights. I've been into powerlifting since quite a while. So yeah, like these are my main hobbies, I guess.
And where does cubing stand among them, like in terms of priority?
Recently I've been not cubing that much because I recently got into college. So with college I have to figure out everything, how to practice everything. So in the morning I play soccer with my friends before my classes begin, and then in the evening I have to go to the gym to lift weights, and then at night I have to solve assignments and all, and then finally around 11-12 p.m. I practice some cubing and also guitar. That's how I squeeze in my hobbies in there.
So by how much has the time that you spend for cubing decreased over the past year?
Well, I guess in 2019 I was at my peak in terms of practicing. I used to practice a lot. It was actually my 12th grade, and in the starting of the year I was practicing for 3 hours a day initially. Then I left it completely for a few months before I picked it up again around August 2019. And from there I got the feel of the competitions back, and then I attended some competitions back to back, and from there I started practicing again, but definitely not as much, like around 1 hour per day, because I had my boards, but I just needed to maintain my speed.
Did you cube during the lockdown?
Initially I was very happy because I did not have any exams or anything. I knew my entrances were getting postponed. So I was like, okay, I'll practice a lot. But somehow I couldn't. Like, I didn't have that motivation. In the first month of lockdown, I was practicing a decent amount. Then it just faded away, the motivation. And then I picked up guitar. So I transitioned from cubing to guitar at that point. Yeah.
So, like, how supportive were your parents throughout your cubing career?
They've been like extremely supportive from the very first day. My dad actually went to my first competition with me along with my brother, and they were also like really excited. And I did not, do well at my first competition, so I cried quite a bit because I was expecting to perform much better. So I went back. When I came back home, my parents were like, "Don't lose hope. You're doing good. In the next competition, you'll definitely win something." And then a few months later, I attended my second competition, and I did win something. So I was like, "Okay, my parents really helped me getting through that, phase from I was like feeling that I won't even achieve anything in this."
Which event did you win in?
I did not win. I think I podiumed in some event. I'm not sure which event it was. I'm not sure. I remember. No, wait. At my second competition, I did not like podium, but I won something, like sum of ranks, I think. And in my third competition, I came third in one-handed. Yeah, now I remember.
Nice. And so, like, what was your parents' reaction like when you first got your NR, which I think was in 2017, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I was aiming for NR for like 1 year before that. I knew I was capable to break the NR average, and the day it actually happened, like the time I got it, I wasn't actually that surprised for some reason. Like I was happy, but I knew I could have done better. So my parents were really happy, but I knew I have to, push this even further. Yeah.
How many times have you broken the NR until now?
I think 5 times.
Okay. With the what's the most recent one?
The 4.91 solve.
Okay.
That was
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you have any fears that you think are irrational
In cubing?
in cubing and in general?
Well, the only fear is failure, I guess. I mean, I do fear failure. But at the same time, it's something that you need to go through to actually, appreciate that your hard work, your practice, and your dedication that you put into anything, be it studies, be it cubing, be it guitar, anything that you do, you have to just put your all into it and not expect anything big. You just have to do it for yourself. That's what I've learned through cubing, and also what I've been applying to my life.
So, like, since you got your first NR, like, did you get full popularity? Did you gain full popularity among cubing community?
I was actually expecting to, make the news or something. That was actually my motivation when I started cubing. I came across an article on some random kid solving a Rubik's Cube in 17 seconds. So I was like, I need to get myself into a newspaper anyhow. So when I broke the record, I was like, okay, maybe now I achieved my goal, which I had in the beginning of starting my cubing journey. But yeah, I mean, I guess that was my motivating factor. And I did actually get into a couple of newspapers, so that's nice.
Was it like, how long ago was it?
I think in 2017.
That's the first and last time you won?
No. In 2018 and 2019 as well. Yeah.
Did you ever win nationals?
No, man. No. That is something I have yet to accomplish in my cubing journey. I mean, I was expecting to win the last one. I was actually really close. I guess in the semi-finals I did get the NR average, and in the finals I just failed so badly. It was embarrassing, to be honest.
And I mean, there's still gonna be a lot that's gonna come. A lot of.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
So, in 2021, I think you are one of the. I mean, you're pretty popular across India, I guess, in the cubing community. So, do you think the fame and honor that you've got through cubing is more than what you deserve?
I think yes, absolutely. I mean, the support I've gotten through my friends and family, and like the people I've never met, they For example, I went to this competition named Mathsoc Open last year, in the beginning of the last year. So a kid and his parents approached me and they were like, he's inspired by you and he looks up to you every single day. And I was in tears because I did not even know that kid, and a random stranger is actually looking up to me and he's, you know, inspiring to become me. And I don't think I'm doing well at life. I'm still figuring out stuff, and I just got into college. I don't even know exactly what to do in my life. So maybe yes, I guess I've like gotten much more than I deserve. So I'll work hard for to be deserving enough.
Yeah, so that brings us to the end of the personal Q&A round. Let's get on to the cubing related Q&A round.
All right.
So the first question is, what do you think is stopping you from getting a world record, other than the fact that there have been no offline competitions in 2020?
It's just mainly practice, because honestly speaking, I am very lazy in terms of practicing a lot. Like I know cubers who can practice for like 5-6 hours straight, and they actually practice that much, and I do not practice enough. So that is the key factor, I guess, that is stopping me from getting. I'm not sure if I'm like even capable of a world record, but getting close is something I can do if I practice, and I haven't been practicing, so that's on me.
I mean, do you have like any set time period that you'll do it after college or anything?
Yeah, I actually joined my college late, so I had to catch up a lot. When my second semester begins, I'll be practicing a lot more, and I'll have like a small break before that. That is gonna be starting next week actually, so I'll be practicing then.
Okay, nice. So, like, if you could get a day to spend with any of the world-class cubers, who would it be, and what would you like to learn from him?
Hands down, Felix Zemdegs. He's the most humble and like fastest cuber I think that has ever came across
You met him
in this
before,
world.
right?
Yeah, I met him once, and he's so humble. Like I was actually shocked. I thought he wouldn't like he wouldn't be that guy that I actually met. So yeah, I would like learn his thought process. I would like to learn his thought process of solving. I really like his turning style a lot. So maybe like something I would like to take something from his turning style.
So, coming to the next question, I probably know the answer, but it's probably for the, I mean, it's more for the audience. Describe describe your worst competition experience.
It was back in Nationals 2018. Yeah, 2018. I don't even know what to say, man. The organization was very poor. I actually can blame myself like quite a bit. You know the thing with the chairs, right? At
Thing with
that
the?
competition, the chairs, they were
No,
fixed.
actually, I haven't attended that. I attended
You did.
2019.
Oh yeah, right. My bad. So what happened was the chairs were fixed and they were like facing the opposite side of the audience. So the audience would see the back side of yours.
What?
That was the yeah. That was the main issue, and I was fat at that time. Okay, I'll take the blame. I was fat, so I couldn't fit in. So when I had to solve, my stomach would like touch the table. And for big cubes, that was so difficult because I had to turn the chair and then solve sideways and then turn back and then stop the timer. So yeah, I blame it on me as well because I know cubers who were like not as fat as me didn't have a hard time solving, but I did. So yeah, and overall, I think the competition could have been much better if everyone the organization team uh, talked about everything beforehand. I think they had to come like solve some problems on the spot, and they did not expect that to happen. Like the problems they came across, they did not expect them. So yeah, that was my worst competition. And also, I did not make 3x3 finals, and I was hoping to win. So that's also terrible.
Yeah, so coming to the next one, how long do you think you'll be able to fully engage in cubing? Like, what I mean is, like, as you progress through life, you'll become more busy with other things and not be able to spend much time, like as much time as you want on cubing. So in that
Yeah.
case, like how until when do you think you'll be able to fully, go to competitions or like fully take part in the activity?
Well, I think in my college life I'll be cubing a lot. I'm pretty sure in the if the whenever the competitions resume, I'll be attending them very actively and also like practice quite a bit. But as soon as I approach my end of the college, I'll probably start not cubing that much because I'll be having my placement then, and I'll like probably have a job by then. So I'm pretty sure that I can still cube and I can still attend competitions, but it'll be way less. I'll be like way more inactive at that point.
Yeah, speaking of the competitions part, when do you think like offline competitions would resume in India? Do you think it's safe to
That
do so before enough population is vaccinated?
Well, I expected competitions to start back last year itself, that to mid of 2020, and I was wrong. So let's hope that the situation, is under control in like a month or two. I'm pretty sure the vaccine is like, it's working, right? It's like
Yeah.
some people are having some side effects, but it's still working. So I'm sure that by the end of this year, everything should go back to normal. Like the competitions might just start in August or September, I think, maximum. So let's hope for the best.
Yeah, that's all. So
Yeah.
yeah, that brings us to the end of the cubing Q&A round. Let's move on to the situation round.
All right.
So the question is, imagine a non-cuber comes up to you and asks if he can try your cube. Like, that's something that happens a lot, often in competitions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
After acknowledging that it's an expensive cube, or he or she would ask, why to spend so much on a cube when you can get one for like 100 rupees on a store? Like, in that case, how would you explain it to that person? Like, imagine if he or she has no knowledge of cubing at all.
Yeah. Okay. So this has actually happened with me. My cousin came to my place and he started cubing and he bought a 100 rupees wala cube only. So he was using my cube and he was like, "Oh, this is damn good." I was like, "Yeah, man, it costs a lot. That's why it's good." So he was like, "How much does this cost?" I was like, "It is around 2K, 2000 rupees." And he was like, "What? I bought this one in 100." Man, I just said that, "Can you see the difference? It turns so well, and yours is like not even turning; it is popping." So that's how I explained it, like why cubers like us who actually, are competitive have to use these cubes and why they cost a lot. I explained the magnetic system to him as well, and he actually got it quite easily. I was like,
Was he
he
like
probably
shocked or anything because I myself, like when I told a few of my friends about the magnetic system inside a cube,
yeah.
like they were like, "What? Like that's so weird. That's so stupid." Those kind of comments.
He was curious. He was curious. He was like, "Why would you put magnets in a cube?" I was like, that was easy to explain. You can just make the cube stable by adding magnets. I just told him that, and he got it in a second. He was curious, like how different the mechanisms of the two cubes are. So he like broke apart both the cubes and saw the difference. I was like, you see it, right? You see the difference and you see why it's costlier. So yeah, that was it.
And yeah, what cube were you using? Is it a GAN?
I think it was, yeah, GAN cube only.
2000.
No, wait, I'm not sure. It was probably Volk something, Volk Power M. I don't know. It was a stickerless cube, so it might be either GAN X or the Volk something.
Okay. What's your current main?
I'm actually searching between three cubes right now. It's the Waylong WRM 2020, the RS3M 2020, and the Volk 3M.
Are you yet to buy them?
No, I have
Only
them.
have them and just decide. I mean, just practicing and deciding which one you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, that gets us to the end of the situation round as well as this whole interview. Thank you so much for coming and doing this. And before you leave, anything you would like to say to non-cubers who are wondering how to get at a professional level?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And yeah, I would say that just keep learning and keep practicing. And I really hope that offline competitions start back because that is the key factor in motivation. When you attend competitions, you meet different people you see what their thought process is, and you also make friends. So that also motivates you to keep practicing and be in touch with them and share your cubing journey with them. So just keep practicing till then, and I hope everyone can go back to being normal, like through competition and all. We can get back to that pretty soon. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so that's it, I guess. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for watching, and do check out Aryan Chapra's channel. The link will be in the description. And till then, happy cubing.
Happy cubing.